What's up, Rink Rats? It's Woody. I'm here to tell you that this week's episode is brought to you by Champion Hockey. If you're looking for quality wheels, sticks, bags, and apparel, then look no further. Champion Hockey has everything you need to look and play like a champion. Check out top-of-the-line Legacy Series sticks and wheels and upgrade your game without breaking the bank. Go to champion.hockey to purchase your gear now, and make sure to check out Champion on Instagram at Champion Hockey to stay updated with products and events. Champion Hockey. Look like a champion. All right, and if you love this show, then you will also love the College Roller Foundation. The College Roller Foundation is a volunteer-run, tax-exempt 501c3 nonprofit organization that exists solely to raise and distribute funds to deserving college roller hockey student athletes in the form of scholarships. The College Roller Foundation isn't a tournament series, league, championship, governing body, or sanctioning agency, but rather works with partners to host events to raise and distribute all those dollar bills to roller players who also like to get their academia on. By raising money through donations and divvying out these scholarships to the players, the College Roller Foundation seeks to grow the game of roller in college. And if you're interested in finding more info, helping out, or donating, please visit www.collegerollerfoundation.com and make sure to follow them on Instagram at College Roller Foundation. College Roller Foundation, growing the roller game one scholarship at a time. It's time to join a revolution in roller with US Roller Cup, a premier roller hockey tournament series. The U.S. Roller Cup is led by a passion for the sport. U.S. Roller Cup is driven to create an unparalleled experience for players, fans, and coaches alike. With a focus on promoting roller hockey at all levels from youth to professional, we are committed to growing the game and fostering a sense of community within the roller hockey world. To find out more information, find tournaments near you, or to sign up for an upcoming tournament, go to www.usrollercup.com. And be sure to follow USRC on Instagram at US Roller Cup. US Roller Cup, a revolution in roller.
No offside.
We're here with a special guest today, a professional roller goalie for CLPV in the La Liga, also known as the Spanish Ellite League. He's a pro goalie for Unify Konnix Black Ice. And he's played for his own country, Team Canada, at Worlds. I'd like to welcome you, Jimmy Teed.
Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
So, I forgot to intro myself. I'm Dan Dean, and this is Justin Wood as well.
What's up?
This podcast is sponsored by Champion Hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Roll with Champion. So, Jimmy, we are very thankful to have you here. You start off a pretty good list of our upcoming people that we're interviewing for 2024. And so we're going to pick your brain, and we want viewers and future viewers to kind of, know what it's like to be a player, whether it's a goalie or a forward defenseman, to, kind of know, like, how do you get to the top of your game and how do you get noticed and what it is like to play professional roller hockey overseas, right? So we want all of our viewers and people to kind of just kind of see the mentality it takes and the the physicality that you put your body through every day to train and just be who you are, but also focus purely on hockey, right? So, Jimmy, you're on break right now, right? So you're home in Canada.
Yeah.
And so, what do you do when you're on break from the Spanish Elite League?
Well, we had a pretty good break this year, longer than the last 2 years. So we had about 3 weeks off. And there's no roller rinks in Nova Scotia, so I'm on wheels for that amount of time. But I definitely, made sure I gave myself some time to just relax entirely. Not really in the gym, not really paying attention to, taking advantage of home cooking and the holidays and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
But the last week or so, I've ramped it back up. You don't want to get too rusty and want to make sure, we're going to step on the rink right away the day pretty much when I get back, and we'll have a game that week. So for me, definitely it was important to make sure that I just took a break from everything, and anything that needed to recover, that it was recovered. But just not too crazy intense. Get my work in the morning, and then still relaxing, spending my time with family during the rest of the day. But it's been a good break.
That's good. It's always good to, especially if you're, working out, to always have a rest period to let your body kind of rejuvenate. You can only put your body through so much. Now, did you originally grow up playing roller hockey?
No, not at all. So grew up in Nova Scotia. It's like I'm from a small town called Antigonish. It's like any small town in Canada. Everyone is playing hockey pretty much from the time they can walk and talk. So it was ice hockey for me all the way growing up. When I was about 14 or 15, my family moved out west to Edmonton, Alberta. And then we were playing ice hockey there still. And one of the summers, just a friend from school asked me if I wanted to play roller hockey, just in one of just kind of a fun league. I think we were, whatever it would be, U16 or something at the time, played on concrete. Wasn't really taking that seriously, but I said, yeah, whatever, I'll try it out for fun. And then tried it out that summer and never really looked back. I did play competitive ice. We were all roller all the time. We were just kind of playing house league ice hockey until roller hockey season came back around. But it was all ice hockey for me until then. And then once I got a taste of it, I never wanted to do anything but roller again. So
what was that flavor that really grabbed you about roller? What was it different about ice?
I think at first it was definitely more relaxed setting going into the rink. I'm sure you got in enough, high level ice hockey settings that basically from the time you're 9 or 10, if you're playing AAA, like you got your suit and tie on and you're going tryouts and it's systems and lines and everything like that. And, that's good to some extent, but at a certain point, there's some burnout, and not even necessarily that I was burnout of ice hockey at the time, but I think just the switch in attitude when you walk in the rink and it's you and your buddies, and you just walk in with your team shirt and gym shorts on, and it's just so much more relaxed. I think that was what drew me to it initially. And then just the style of play. I mean, Canadian roller is still very much ice hockey. It's a bit of a war out there, and run and gun, like it's 3-on-2 one way, 2-on-1 the other way. But I think the lack of dump and chase and lack of shots from the boards and stuff like that, it really separated the good goalies from the goalies that were okay. I felt like, and for whatever reason, I kind of caught on quick to that style of play. And I really enjoyed that. I might only see 12 or 15 shots in a game, but I'm going to see, 10, 12 really good scoring chances, and I'm going to get a chance to make some crazy saves. And my guy, I think initially just the change in the overall attitude and the atmosphere of how relaxed it was. And then to the style of play, I really enjoyed the possession and just how it was more of it felt like an art form. We had some good stuff like that. And obviously now, like when you get to the pro ranks, it's still probably a little more relaxed than a pro ice game, at least at the tournaments. But definitely those two things were the biggest thing for me.
So you're saying black ice doesn't make you wear suits and ties or matching uniform when you go to these tournaments every year?
We are matched up in our shirts and shorts and whatever, and we're taken care of pretty good in that regard. The companies that support us and the people who organize that. So you look like a team and you come in, and we love doing that. This year we had, I think, our main shirt for walking in was these bright yellow uniforms. So everyone knew that it was us for walking in, but we love it. So
I love the new uniforms. They're loud, but they're done well.
I agree. And shout out to Steven at Unify. He always takes care of us and does super good work.
There you go. So, I mean, how did like playing pro come to like fruition for you? Like, how did you get the opportunity to start doing something like this?
Good question.
It was always something I wanted to do. Like from the time we started playing when we were 15, like we were watching Narch State Wars tours on the live stream on YouTube. We would have the team over and we would have viewing parties and watch all day, whether it was 24 and under, the 18s, the pros. We'd watch every game, every skills competition. So it was something I always knew that I wanted to get to someday, whether or not it was that realistic. But we played with that little club team in Edmonton, and we went to a couple tournaments. AAU was a big one for us back when that was still going. And one of the guys on my team and myself got recruited to play in the NCRHA, the college league, from one of the tournaments there. Basically from there, I played 4 years at Bethel University, and was able one season, I believe it wasn't until my third or fourth season, I got some looks on the D1 team there and had a real nice tournament, and just got a friend of a friend, kind of recommended me to Tyler Kraft, who that's our team captain or one of our main organizing dudes there. And I was able to get in touch with him, played in that Florida Cup down there, just kind of a men's league tournament. So he got a taste of what I was. And, we connected immediately. We're best friends, and I played well enough. I didn't think I played that well. Liked enough of what he saw that when that summer rolled around, he got Jay Miro to ask me to come play for the pro team and the 24 team. So, just basically, it's step by step. You play in it's a little different, I suppose, in the US, where you're playing in those tournaments already, tours, whatever. So maybe you get on a team on the 14s or 16s and you work your way up. But for me, it was just, club, university, and then to pro. So maybe a little of a late bloomer or late on the scene in that regard, but pretty standard trajectory, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you played D1, right? So you probably played like Lindenwood and Slippery Rock, and so I mean you watch those games and it's good competition, because now college roller has kind of started growing again. Mm-hmm. And so now you have D1 AA, where then you go in and the D1 teams are set, but there's a AA team that you're not quite sure that they are D1, and then they cross over and play each other. And it's a unique system. And sometimes the AA teams end up like moving up to national championships, or it's like D2 teams mingle in with D1. So it's definitely interesting, where it gives a lot of people opportunities to kind of show themselves.
Yeah.
Can't recommend. I mean, if you have the opportunity, it makes sense. We were lucky that the school helped us out fiscally a little bit, and we had really nice facilities. We had our own rink and stuff there at Bethel, and I was also fortunate. Like the league was maybe not at its peak, but pretty close to it. Like we were seeing, that was back when there were probably 30, 40 teams in Division I, and 24 of those teams were in the national tournament, and even when I was on, it was D3 at the time, which is the AA now. You're playing Lindenwood, and for all intents and purposes, that's pretty close to a D1 team. Like they've had guys that have even ended up playing in some pro events and stuff like that. So can't say enough good things about the university league. If you're attending one of those universities and you play roller, like you absolutely should be playing it. And if you have an opportunity where it makes sense for you, whatever in your family, fiscally and scholarship wise and all that, you should absolutely do it. Because I mean, I pretty much have all of what's happened to me in this sport. I owe a lot of that, almost all of it, to college roller. So
yeah, I mean, right now I think there's I think D3 has blown up so much that there's maybe over 20 teams in that division too. And so, a lot of these newer teams are forming and then coming in as like a club team and then moving into D3. And then, as these teams think they are, grow and get better with skill, they're able to move up. And it's really nice to see because, I mean, when I was in college, Newman was a really big competitor in roller hockey. And, they've dropped back down. They've been like D2, D3, and they've kind of go back and forth depending on their talent. And it's good to see that the flexibility is there instead of being declared D1 and going in with a not so good team and getting smacked around a lot. I think the system is pretty good right now for college roller. And, we have some young kids that in our area that, are looking to potentially go and do something further and go to school. And so one of them, Justin, is Noah, right?
Definitely.
And so, I'm like, Noah, like there are so many schools you can pick from. But if you're going to go to school, don't just go to a school just because you're going to go to school. Like if you can go to like Jimmy said, if you can financially go to school and play roller, do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's something that I think is so cool. I mean, how old are you, Jimmy?
I'm 26 right now.
So. You're 26. So your first year pro, you were
first year with Black Ice would have been 22.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, that's huge for all these young guys. I mean, you might only be 17, 18 now, but keep pushing, and by 22, I mean, if I was 22 and I was playing pro, I'd be pretty dang excited about that. So there's a little bit of jealousy here on my side of you. I'm going to be honest. Maybe I just didn't put in the work, right, Dan?
Hard for because the team is the best now, or like Black Ice is a good example. Roadrunners are a good example. Those kids have been pretty much pro level players since they were like 16, 17. So, and they ran through the college system too. And so, like you said, it can be a little discouraging at times that you're not there. But I played with Joey D for 2 years in Madrid there. And like, that was a guy that I was watching on the live streams saying like, oh, this is insane. And he's 2 years younger than me. So, it just find a spot that works for you. And hopefully it's a spot where you can get on the floor frequently and, a coach, group of teammates and whatever professors, whatever it may be that allow you opportunities to get better and go with it.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it right. And going off of what you said, you can't let losing discourage you. I mean, look, because when you first came in, look how, and I'm going to say this because I grew up with Nick Martini, and so I feel like I'm allowed to say this. Look how bad Roadrunners were when they first came in, right? They were getting waxed almost every tournament.
Yeah.
But now look at them, because that team stuck together. And now, yes, some of them have broken off and have made their own team, but they're still competing, right? They went from losing almost every game to now winning almost every game or going 500 and competing, but not like getting mercied like they used to.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I think it was, you look at it and you go, hey, they just won a championship last year. Right. So where it's going to take years of working together with a team to get better. And when I look at teams that are in the pro scene that have put the work in, Black Ice has always been up there. So, I can't say like, oh, yeah, well, from early on, I mean, Black Ice has been around for many years. So in looking from the time of when I started following pro roller, I got to see the kind of the beginning of the Roadrunners and just kind of seeing how they progressed. And, you had like Nick Martini, who's one of the older guys on that team. You have Di Martino on that team, right? And then was it Halverson too, right? A bunch of young guys that played with each other up north, and the guys that I've played against up in New Jersey, right? And so guys that have just grown together and just become better. And that's just something that people have to think about is, sure, you can go to a tournament and get waxed, but what are you going to do after that to get better?
Yeah, exactly. And all these tournament directors and all the coaches who have been doing it for a while. And like, I'm not old and wise enough to, say this from experience, but like all these teams have to take their lumps. Like if you play 3 big tournaments, like there's going to be probably summers where you win 2 games or 1 game or no games and you 10 or games, and that stinks. But I think if you trust the process, for lack of a better term, like cliche, but keep the core together and do things the correct way. I think when you look at a lot of these clubs that have had sustained success, they came in and they took their lumps and they didn't abandon, their core group of guys, whatever that may be, 4, 5, 6, 8 guys. And you don't go and try and make these huge additions, these huge grabs that shake up the makeup of your team while everyone's still growing. You kind of wait and you make those additions as you're ready to compete. I think Roadrunners grabbing Pat Maroon is a great example of some of the guys they've grabbed. But like you said, like Skittles is a great example of that. That's a team that went, they've been together for a while in the youth circuit, but it feels like 3 or 4 years where, they had to take some beatings in the pro division. Now they can win any tournament they enter. So, if you do things the right way and you keep the core together, and, like you said, take bumps and just keep trucking, then the teams will make it work.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm maybe a little bit of a hypocrite. Like, I was blessed to kind of be thrust into a really nice group without having to, but I also, I played my tournaments with Konnix Black and Winters one year, and I did a state wars with the Grizz where we went 0-4 and I gave up a touchdown every game. So I do understand what it's like to be on both sides of it. And it, like you said, it stinks, but if you stay the course and it'll work out.
So kind of talking about, doing and correcting things, like what do you, as a goalie and as a, playing at a high level, what's your daily routine when you're like not on break?
It's pretty not unlike what you would see, I guess, in a North American or any like professional ice. For me, I'm fortunate that my job is hockey. So, there's guys over here that are doing university too, or maybe they have a part-time job or they're coaching or something like that, just to, pay the bills or whatever it may be. But I'm very blessed that, I can focus on hockey 24 hours a day if I want to. In Europe, there's really not much going on in the mornings. I'm pretty lucky I can sleep in till 9, 10, 11 if I want. We don't even really have to be at the gym or the rink until noon, 12:30. But on a day where we don't have a team skate, I'll go to the rink for about 12 or 1 for a goalie specific session. Go get to the gym, get warmed up, stretched out, just chill for a bit, put my gear on. We go do our goalie work, cool down, and then go home and have lunch. And then you pretty much have the day to yourself until the evening. If you have a workout scheduled or whatever it may be, if you want to poke your head in and see the kids that are at the rink, that's always fun too. On a day where we have a team skate, it's kind of the same thing. Just go to the gym for 12:30, do your workout for an hour and a half, whatever it may be. And then we skate in the evenings. So you might go 2 hours, an hour before, get a quick workout in with the team, quick lift, and then you skate. And so as far as hockey related stuff, that's pretty much it. You're skating once and you're in the gym once. And then other than that, a lot of film. I do a ton of film. I think that's one area that it can be boring for some people. For me, I can't watch enough roller hockey. I'll watch 3 full games a day, and I'm pausing it and rewinding it the whole time. I'm annoying to watch a game with. Any of my teammates will tell you that.
Is that to like learn shooters or?
No, just to see what works and what doesn't. I think one thing anyone can do to get better is just to watch more roller hockey and understand hockey in general or your sport in general. Watch a game, and when there's a goal scored, play that back and see where the error was made on the defensive side, or see what happened to create that chance. And the beautiful thing about roller hockey is that the thing that caused the goal might have happened literally 5, 6, 7 minutes before the goal went in, because it's that much of a possession game. Yeah. So for me, that's the thing I'm looking for. And I think that's that really helped me learn it better and kind of take my game to the next level was just watching more. You know, I'm not going to be as talented as a lot of these guys that are playing now, like Redmond, Machinsky, Keith Johnson, you know, these guys that are just the best of the best. Like I'm never going to be as talented as those guys. They're just better, and that's fine. But you know, I can watch film. I can watch my film back. I can, you know, there's always going to be opportunities for me to learn there. So I think that's something that occupies a large part of my day as well, outside of gym and skating. And I think that's something more people should take advantage because it costs $0 and you don't need any, there's no prerequisite for watching film and trying to see what works and what doesn't.
Definitely.
Well, and Justin, we had actually an initiative in our league in our area, and Justin's kind of been the head guy on it. And we've been trying to get people to record our it's pretty much our house league games, right? And people have been going back and watching them, and people are like, oh man, I can see like how bad I am. It's like, well, it's not about going back and seeing how bad you are. It's going back to see like if you made a mistake, were there other options, right? And just like you said, Teed, is like fixing them. Fixing your bad tendencies.
And I like that you said, you know, it's not always that exact moment where the problem happened. You know, it always, if you really are watching and paying attention, you'll see everything kind of start going into a downward spiral, the breakdown, and then you see the actual, I guess, the symptom, I guess, that everybody would notice. They see the big fault, but being able to go back and watch that and really see where you started your decline, I think is huge.
Yeah, for sure. Hockey in general, but I think especially roller hockey, and I'm not going to pretend to be a genius or that I see the game better than anyone else, but I think if you have a really good understanding of cause and effect in this sport, that's going to help you. That's going to help you see the game better. If you can understand why things are happening, not just that they happened, which again sounds obvious, but if you have a concept of cause and effect as it relates to the sport, I think things are going to come at you a lot slower, and you're just going to see things a lot easier.
Well, and when the way I look at it too is when I watch hockey, I'm not just watching it to watch it and enjoy it. I'm analyzing as I'm watching it, right? Even when you watch the NHL and not being up to their level, but if you play hockey and you've played at a high level, you kind of know where the pass should go, right? So where new people are like, oh, hockey's great to go watch it in person, but I can't follow it on TV. Well, it's because you don't know exactly where the puck's supposed to go. And I understand it. But when I'm, you know, when I watch it, I look at it, I go, all right, the pass is going to go there. And then it's like, boom, it happens. I'm like, okay, cool. Right. So, you know, analyzing it back and forth. And, you know, we had a tournament not too long ago that we went to, and we lost the championship in overtime. And it was due to like, it was a good play, but I had to go back and watch it for like, was the play the right play? And then it was like a poke check that just happened to trickle. It like poke check, hit something, and then went to a guy that was not necessarily in the right position, but he got the puck and scored. So, you know, and you can't kick yourself for that, but for making a good play, you just have to focus on kind of continuing doing the right things.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimmy, you know, being a guy who does a lot of analyzing of film, I'm excited to have a goalie to ask this question to, because I play defense, so I've always been real tight with the tendies, and my favorite are tendies that are very vocal out there. Are you pretty vocal? Are you kind of calling shots, letting people know what's going on because you're watching the game so strictly?
I try to be, and I think most goalies who do well are. I think, you know, every goalie at the pro level is talking, because you have to be, right? It moves too fast. Guys don't have eyes in the back of their head.
Yeah.
So you gotta, you know, for me, I'm not directing traffic out there as much, especially not at the pro level. I'm just letting them know where their options are. That's kind of my thing, because, you know, they're usually skating towards me or they're skating one direction. And, you know, as a goalie, you kind of have the vantage point of the whole rink for the most part. So yeah, you definitely, I'm trying to be vocal the best I can. And even if they don't go with the play that I called out or whatever it may be, like you're just kind of there to give options, right?
Yeah.
Let know what is something they can do.
Who would you say is the loudest goalie in the pro circuit in North America? I have an idea because I've played with him.
Hard to say. I mean, you're at the other end, so you're not hearing as much, I guess. But I know. Like Leggett's a really smart guy, and he's a vocal guy. He likes to talk, and he's on with that OC Blades team. He's with a younger group for the most part, so he's always talking. And I think
because I played with Nicky Wydock a little bit, and he's very loud, and especially when he's not loud to just be loud. He's loud because he's telling you what to do. Yeah. And if he sees someone not doing it, while he's watching the puck, he's yelling at you. So, but it's like good criticism while you're playing. But I love Nicky, and he, plays for Blood and Feathers. So I wasn't sure, it's another team that's up and coming, is, having their rough patches, but I would assume that he's out there kind of trying to direct them.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played against. Maybe he was in the net when we played them once, but one guy that comes to mind for sure is Keith. Like we keep talking about the Roadrunners, but he's very vocal, and he's always been, I think, the oldest guy in that team, maybe save for Martini. So, he's a verbal leader, and he's a smart guy and knows the game really well. But he's always talking to those guys, and he has to. He's always had to. So, definitely him.
Now, I kind of want to compare North American roller to Europe.
Yep.
I was excited for this.
So, besides the nets, I mean, you can go and describe the nets because they are different. What is different between North American roller and Europe?
Well, the first immediate difference is the size of the rinks. So, in North America, you're playing on an ice sheet for the most part. You're usually playing on a 200 by 85. In Europe, it's a little more, it's almost always a smaller rink, and it's almost got a little bit of like the MLB element where every rink is a little bit different. Like no two rinks over there. I shouldn't say that, but a lot of variance, right? Whether that's just the shape of the corners, some are more rounded, some are more square. Some are longer, some are wider, some are some of them have higher glass than others, and
some don't.
Yeah, exactly. They have the nets, or glass doesn't extend much past the back of the back area. So that's a big thing. The talent level, just the base, like the foundational talent level in North America is a little bit higher. There's just higher population of players playing. There's that ice hockey talent, guys that have been playing since, they're 4 or 5. But the guys that are studs in Europe are still studs, and there's a ton of guys that, like some of the best players in the world, go over to Europe and they do their thing, and then they come back over here, and it's the same. So, but I think the rinks is a big thing. It's a lot less. I don't want to say run and gun, but like we said in North American roller, you might see 15 shots in a game. You might see 8 shots in a game, and they're almost all going to be scoring chances. That still does exist in Europe, but there's a lot more instances of, 30, 40, 50 shot games too, where they're doing whatever they can to score. So it's maybe a little more ice hockey-ish in that regard, but still the percentage of those shots that are dangerous is a lot higher. I think the officiating is different. I think that's the same in ice and roller, is that I don't think soft is the correct term, but certainly you're going to get away with less in Europe. And sometimes it's annoying because, in these small rinks, everyone's buzzing. There's not as much room to possess the puck and curl back and whatever. So guys are skating all the time. There's always contact being made along the boards and stuff like that, and guys are going to run into each other and they're going to hit and slash and whatever. So sometimes it's annoying that it doesn't get let go a little bit, because that 4-on-4 play is so exciting, And then when you do get to special teams like power plays and penalty kills, they're just less fun. They're less exciting from a fan standpoint than even strength. So those would be the biggest things. Size of the rink. I think another thing is in North America, guys are a lot less happy to shoot on their first touch. They'll get the puck and they'll take a look, or they'll get the puck and try and make a move. They're looking for the perfect opportunity, and that's why you end up with games where the shots are, 10 to 11 or something like that. Here, I think you gotta beat stuff on your feet a lot more. I think you have to have a better idea of where everyone is, because wherever they get the puck, there's a good chance they're going to shoot it.
Would you say it's more possession game in the United States than in Europe?
Certainly, and mostly just because there's more room, I think.
Yeah.
And so, there's the element of guys are looking for that perfect play because they have the skill to do it. So.
Yeah, we used to play on these tiny little 65-foot rinks and just do 3-on-3. And I know the goalies loved it because they just had shots constantly. Because it's everybody felt comfortable shooting as soon as they had the puck. Is that kind of what you're saying? Is because it's smaller, people are much more comfortable to just send it?
Yeah, I think you're always in a more dangerous position, especially in transition. If there's a turnover at the red line on a European rink, 2 or 3 strides, and that guy's in a really good spot to shoot. So that can happen really quick. Another thing I forgot to the games over there are 50-minute games as opposed to a 30 or 40-minute a 30 or 36-minute in North America.
Yeah.
So you do 25-minute halves. So that also attributes to just the more shots, as there's more time to take shots. But yeah, definitely, it's like you said, you're almost always, once you're over the red line, in a position to make something happen. So,
well, and the one thing that I find most interesting, right, is that in Europe, if they find a big enough gymnasium, they'll just drop a rink in it.
Yeah, there's not in the Spanish league that I know of, but then in the France league for sure. There's a few facilities that kind of do double time, where it's tear the whole rink down and the court and the boards and glass and everything for a gymnasium or whatever multi-purpose facility, and then Saturday morning before the game they're building that rink up. And most teams have their own facility. I mean, all the teams have their own facilities, and most of them have good viewing areas, and they're well taken care of. It's popular, and people come to watch it, and it's usually well funded either by the government or ticket sales and stuff. So usually most of these teams have real nice facilities, whether it be ones that they're putting together like that or permanent ones. So yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh, the nets. It doesn't change anything for me. And I half and half played on both. Some of the guys are, I don't know. For me, it's just it's a different size space that you're filling.
Are they the same width? Because I know they're shorter, right?
Same width, and I think they're a half a foot shorter. I don't know the exact dimensions.
And right angles, right?
Yeah, more of a right angle. The posts are a bit wider too, which contributes to the shorterness of it, or it makes them look smaller than they probably really are. But yeah, for me, the center of the net is still the center of the net, and I have to be in line with the center of the net and the puck. So maybe I can play some of those low angle attacks or attacks from behind the net. I can go down a little easier on those, or a little quicker on those, and have confidence that I'm covering the top still. But I personally don't really change anything. I have to fill the area that the puck can go to, and yeah, I have to be in the center of the net. So
yeah. I mean, so I've had my short stint, and I jump in the net every now and then. And so the one thing that I always and I mean, I am 32, so I'm old, coming out of my prime here. But when I do hop in net, I feel as if, and it's probably because I don't do it as often, but it also, I've started doing other things to help myself with not feeling the aches and pains. Now, I mean, roller goalie, do you use roller flies or anything like that, or are you just strictly your pads?
Nope, just everything that I use is the same as an ice goalie would use, except for my skates.
Gotcha. So, and that puts a lot of strain on your hips and your knees.
Yeah.
Because you're jumping from side to side, right? And you have to, shuffle. And so it's less footwork and more, hips to knees kind of workout, right? So how do you take care of your extremities?
I mean, I haven't had the best luck with it this season. I've been in the training room a lot this first half. Just new system, new coach this year, and maybe a little bit of overuse, like not knowing when to stop or whatever. But for the most, like I'm doing mobility every day. I'm talking with our physio guy every day, what I can do. I'm not a gym freak or anything like that. I don't really enjoy being in the gym, and I really like eating Oreos and pizza and stuff like that. But I get my work done, and I make sure I'm in the condition I need to be in to stop pucks come game time. But mobility every day, the things like foam rolling, massage guns, stuff like that, going to physio, just stuff you have to do, especially like you said, as you get older. Like we're not that old yet, but I think goalie sport just beats you down in general. And if you're on the rink 5-6 times a day for a couple hours a day, and you're in the gym, like that can catch up pretty quick. Doesn't take long. So you gotta be doing that stuff, but nothing crazy, right? Just like I said, mobility and making sure me and my physio guy are well acquainted, and no major injuries yet so far, so we're good.
Good. Now, I personally want to touch up on your stats here, and since you play in the Liga, right? And I want to touch up on your stats right now. Right now, during season before break, you're 9-0, 1.88 goals against average, 17 goals against, 220 shots against, and you're averaging 23 saves per game, right? Not bad. And, when I look at the rest of your stats for Tours, Narch, and PAMA, you're consistent, right? And like we talked about, we're hoping these are maybe some games aren't yours, but between you and Machinsky in North America circuit, the stats are not much different, right? So, in Narch, you are 6-0-1 in round robin. Right now you have a 1 goals against average. You got 6 goals against in those 7 games, 83 shots against, and your save percentage is a .928. Right. When we go to PAMA, you are 4-2. You have a goals against average of a 2.67, 16 goals against, 67 shots, and a .803%. And when we go to Tours, this is where you shine. You shine at Tours, right? This is your bread and butter. We'll put it out there. Jimmy Teed thinks Tours is the easiest tournament, apparently. Right? You're 10-0 with a 1.2 goals against average, 13 goals against, 72 shots, and a .925 save percentage.
Oh my God.
So averaging them all together, you're 22-1 over the last 3 years. 1.62 goals against average, 35 goals against, 222 shots against, a .885 save percentage.
Oh my God.
Right. And honestly, yes, every goalie wants to be in the 90%, 90 save percent, but roller hockey's a different animal.
Yeah.
And, without the physicality, not saying there's a lot of physicality in North American pro circuit, but there's just more space to shoot. So it's tougher on goalies. So high 80% in the high upper 80s is actually relatively good in roller hockey.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, with these stats, which are fantastic over the last 3 years, who would you say are your top 5, like the top 5 shooters in the North American circuit that you face? Obviously, you want to say Tyler Kraft and, no. No.
Yeah, I mean, I would pick 5 guys from our team because we success. But Travis Noah is the best player in the world, and I think Nathan Sigmund is not far behind him. You don't. I feel you don't see a lot of shots from Sigmund. He's facilitating and playing D in a way no one else can, obviously. So, 2 of those guys, Junior. Who plays with Travis, again, probably maybe the best passer on the planet, super, super dangerous. Ernie and Barry from Car Shield. One guy's been in the NHL for half a decade now, he's something like that. So that guy's pretty good. Barry, I think, maybe flies under the radar a little bit, even though even though he's won in 4 national championships or something the last. Yeah. Those guys for sure. It's hard. My boy Kevin Mooney on Palma. He plays overseas too. I think he's turned into top 15, top 20 player on the planet. But just in terms of he wants the puck, he wants to puck on like a bit of like killer instinct, for lack of a better term. So that's a guy that's always super dangerous. I'm definitely forgetting guys. I think Halverson is. Again, somehow underrated. I think he should be a lock for every Team USA, every all-star team that you're putting together. He gets the puck on a stick, and he's just like he's like a great white shark skating up the rink, like just waiting for mess. He can pounce. So a couple guys like that. I mean, the 2 guys that stand out for me though are Travis and Sigmund for sure.
I mean, because you can take Chavo, you can take Kraft, right? You can take a lot of guys on your own team because they're, you have a lot of good shooters on Black Ice, right? And so, I mean, there's a lot of dangerous guys in the pro circuit. I mean, that's why it's the pro circuit, right? So, I was just curious to see who you would say.
Now, those are the first 2 guys that come to mind, and if I'm, like I said, there's probably 100 guys have scored to me in the circuit now, but if I have to play those 2 guys, I think they're the ones I'm most worried about.
We actually have a question from a fan. Are you down to answer that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. They want to know, what do you think is more difficult to defend on a penalty kill, a box or a diamond?
I say box. I think box gets better looks. I think a diamond can generate it can generate probably a more dangerous chance. I think with the box though, if run correctly, you're probably going to get like 4 or 5 dangerous chances per power play. Obviously, it depends on the kill, what the kill is giving you and stuff like that. But when the puck goes low to high, it's really tough because if you got guys that are dangerous down low, like you look at like Chava's a great example. Like that's been his spot for 10 years now. When you get a guy who can score from any angle down there, you have to respect that so much, and you have to make so many tiny adjustments every time it goes down low. Whether you're going to be on the post, whether you're going to overlap, whether you're going to stay flat, whether you're going to, anchor out. And then the other thing is I think a low to high one-timer, especially when, those guys get a little momentum in, or if they can drift in and they have the option to go back down low, or they have the option to make that play wide and make you move a lot. I think that's a lot more difficult. So probably a box. I think one thing with the diamond is you can almost play like a man-to-man, where everyone has a man, including the goalie. You get some big bodies in front and pro, in the diamond and stuff like that, and guys can hinge out, so that makes it tough too. But there's a reason that every pro power play, regardless of what formation they use, fire at probably 50% or above, right? Because they find ways to work. So, but for me, I think you're going to get more looks on the box, and then the element of low to high, and then having to make the adjustments and decide what you're going to do when the puck goes low makes the box more difficult for me.
I was gonna say, because the box power play is kind of it's been more of the like where everyone's moving to, right? But not everyone can execute it, especially at like lower levels, because it takes a lot of puck movement and a lot of not being selfish. Because every time someone gets the puck, they just want to rip it in lower levels, right? And so, and that's where the diamond comes in, because you can set up like the OV shot where you're just setting the guy up on the dot and it's a one-timer. But the box gives you so many more options of 4-on-3 that it's guy gets it down low. His option is shoot back up top or straight across the crease if he's got the opening. If the goalie's not, can't get a stick in the lane, or the defenseman, right? So and depending on how the defense is set up and how, if they're in disarray, the third option is always through to the other top corner, which doesn't necessarily happen as much, but it's when the box on the power play is executed, it looks really good.
Oh, yeah. I think with any power play 4-on-3, you're pretty much trying to make something happen diagonally. Like it passes diagonally through a box power play, like those are goals against.
Yeah.
Same with the kill. If you can eliminate those ones that go diagonally, so on the diamond, that would be your dot to dot shot. Like if that pass gets through, more often than not, if that guy hits the net, like that's a goal. In the box, if it goes low and that weak side guy up top can creep in and makes himself available for a pass, like that's probably going to be a goal. Yeah. Pretty much all of them, your killers are looking to prevent a diagonal. You got to eat some pucks for sure. Like you're just trying to keep the puck in the area that's the least dangerous, because they're all going to be dangerous. You got to decide for you as a 3-man unit and your goaltender what is the least dangerous, like what you're the most comfortable with seeing. So
now real quick, I'm gonna go off script here because we do have a question from a viewer in chat.
Yes.
And it's pretty simple. It's what is your favorite dinosaur?
Haven't met any dinosaurs, so I wouldn't know.
The little pun here is it's Teed Rex.
Nice.
That was someone else's answer in chat.
I feel like I exactly asked that too.
Is that your nickname?
No, that is not my nickname.
Okay.
Favorite probably does a crocodile count? Like they've been along.
I'll accept it.
I'll accept it. That's fine. So you got something, Justin?
Yeah, well, you mentioned Jimmy that getting someone to go side to side, getting you to go side to side is their best chance against you. But I actually have a highlight here of you proving that that's not even the case against you. I'm gonna play it really quick for everybody. I know you've seen it. Dan, you'll have to check it out, but I'm gonna play it right now real quick.
Pamela Baden Golden Knights will be taking on Carshield next. Pass right out in front.
This is you just
and Teed with a huge
diving
save
straight
there
across and catching this guy where he had to
as
have fought
Volgan
for
was
sure.
on the back door for that chance.
It's absolutely nuts, man.
This is Narch against Skittles.
Yep. And it's, it was like you had that guy's number, man. Do you remember when something like that's going down? Are you just in pure, survival mode, or are you slowing down the play enough to where you actually see that happening?
I mean, for you to be in that position, pretty much everyone's got to get beat, including yourself. And on that one, big time. It's Volgan going down the wing. It's a left-handed shot, and I know that there's a right-handed shot back door, so that play is really wide. He's on the rink, so I have to be in the crease there, so I have a chance at the back door. Once he kind of I don't know, he almost drops your shoulder, but then he puts the top part of his blade over the puck. I drop way too early, but I get to that shot. He makes a great move and beats me with that. And then when he goes over, I would love to be able to say it was in slow motion and the
Matrix.
Yeah.
Save there, but for me, I just know I'm aware that that's Abamont on the other side, and like he wants to put that right under the bar. I have no chance. So all I'm really doing is just trying to get my stick as close to the puck as I can, which was not that close. He was still a little bit higher, and then I was lucky that it hit. But yeah, I'd love to be able to say I was like breaking that down and watching it happen in slow motion. But yeah, I got beat, and then I got lucky that I put together the right series of moves to get hit. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was an awesome save. Yeah, I thought that was a sick highlight.
Yeah, no, it was. I watched that live on I think it was Narch's YouTube at the time. So no, it was a sick save. Now, in the North American circuits of Tours, State Wars, and PAMA, nope, that's it. State Wars, Tours, State Wars, and Narch, right? You share the net with Mike Machinsky, on Black Ice. How can you get? You guys share the net. How can you describe your relationship with him, and how does that benefit the team?
Well, first of all, Mike is probably the most consistent, if not the best goalie in the circuit at least the last 5 years, probably longer. I think they won their first title, 2014 or something like that. So it's been 10 years that he's been doing this. And so as in terms of just him being a goalie, like he's one of the best, if little unorthodox style, maybe a little more old school. But he gets in front of more pucks than just about anyone, if not anyone. So unreal goalie. And then, yeah, just the best guy ever. Always willing to talk to me and help me out. And when it was my turn to go in the net, when I was just getting there for the first time, he was always picking me up and talking, like whatever I need to talk about, he was there for me. And then, now as we've kind of gone into a 50-50 split from most of the round robin, it's good. I think what it does is, he's been our guy on Sundays almost every year now. It gives him a rest, to win the tournament. He doesn't have to play 7 games. He has to play 4 or 5. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that it does for our team. Probably it gives him that extra bit of juice. Not that he really needs it most of the time anyway, but our relationship is unreal. We laugh all the time. We're always hanging out, and we just have a good time, whether it's hockey or otherwise. And I learn a ton just from his demeanor and, how he treats his friends and people around the rink, and then obviously how good he is at stopping pucks. So Mike Machinsky's the man.
So, you talked about hanging out and everything like that. So I kind of want to talk about the camaraderie of all the Unify Konnix Black Ice players, right? Which is like, what do you guys do between games? And, when games are over for the day, kind of like what goes on, like team wise? Does it, does everyone go their own way, or you guys get together?
That's really not as exciting as you would think. You kind of get there the first day and you try and watch as many games as you can while you're still like fresh. On Friday or Thursday, whatever it might be, and then for the rest of the weekend, in between games, you're grabbing a snack and then you're going to lay in the air conditioning and make sure you are any calories as you can for the weekend. So I always tell people are always like, oh, you get to California, get to Tampa, like you might get out and see some sun. It's like, not really. Like you play your game, you rest, and then at the end of the night, maybe you all go to a restaurant and you have a beer or two, and then you go to bed and you get ready to play, because you probably have to turn around and play at noon or 1 the next day, right? So, and it's a long weekend to that championship game, where we've been lucky to be in a lot of those last couple of years. But it's all about conserving energy. Eat some snacks, air out your gear, and go lay in the AC.
Now, I got a question, because you're talking about snacks, and I have
a feeling this is coming.
I have my snacks that I go to. I'm a candy guy, right? So Starburst, Skittles, right? Gummy worms, gummy bears. That's my thing. What do you go to in between games for snacks?
For me, all game day, I keep it super light. Like I try and eat pretty big the night before, after all the games are done, so I have the calories, and I'm obviously not short on calories too often. But during the day, it's usually something super light. My go-to has been, believe it or not, baby cookies, because like they're just so light and I think they taste good, and they're like, I don't know, they're nutrient rich. They're for babies, and there's
Like the little squeeze ones.
no, like literally, I don't even know how you describe them. They're just shaped like ovals, and like you
Okay.
give them just like suck on, I guess. But I'll have like 2 or 3 packs of those throughout the day, and then a lot of caffeine, water and caffeine, and electrolytes, and that's about it. And then usually
Do you guys do the Pedialytes?
a lot of like Gatorade Zero or whatever, and then a lot of sugar-free Red Bulls and Monsters and stuff. Some guys, like, I don't know how they do it. They eat like a Chipotle or a sub or something like in between games when you only
Savages.
have that's gross for me. But yeah, for me it's those baby cookies like Nature Valley, like granola bars, just super light until after the game, and then that's when I get my meal in.
I'm with you on that one. I can't really eat a lot when I'm playing. My stomach everything will come up. So I try to just wait, and then at the end of the night, just eat as much as I possibly can. We got one more question come in from a fan. This one's a little bit of a rough one. They want to know, would you rather have someone snipe you bar down or have someone pull a Michigan on you? Which one hurts less?
Probably rather than Michigan. Just, I don't know. It's tough because Michigan, you're probably going to be on Instagram for the next couple. I had a Michigan first year over in Europe, so I know what it's like for sure. The bar, it's probably something I did wrong to get sniped bar down. I mean, sometimes guys just hit their shots and you got to tip your hat, but like that's one I probably have a chance on. And not that you don't have a chance on the Michigan, but like that's why the Michigan is so effective. It's like because goalies have become so good at sealing the bottom on those plays.
Yep.
Play is moving fast behind the net. Like your best option to take away, the highest percentage play there is to go down and to seal the floor, the obviously, and then that lower 85% of the net or something like that. So I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what the next innovation in goaltending will be to try and stop that, but the shooters have a number there. But I would feel less like I did something wrong on a Michigan than maybe a snipe. So
Now, we talked about this last week.
neither, I guess.
We talked about this last week, and so the rumor is that the NHL might ban the Michigan. Any thoughts on that?
I think it's a bad idea. I think the Michigan's cool. I think there needs to be more ways to do one. There needs to be more cool stuff in hockey because hockey's like the lowest viewership, the least popular sport in North America, or out of the big four by far.
But still the coolest sport.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's see what people mean. Like you kind of got a stick in guys' eyes or a defense's face that's coming around there. But I mean, the rule is your stick has to be below the crossbar, and to score a Michigan goal, it has to be below the crossbar, or else it's going over the net, right? So they shouldn't ban it. I don't really see the reason. You want to say it's like carrying the puck or something like that, and I don't know. I think it's a cool way to score. I think we need more cool ways to score, and just because right now no one's found a way to solve it doesn't mean it should be banned. It was the same way with the goaltending, and you look at like the early 2000s, like guys could just drop and wear giant shoulder pads, and every game was 2-1 for 5 years there. And
the Jaguar
way to solve it, and then goalies found a way to solve that, and that's just kind of how the sport works. So someone will find a way to stop it, and then there'll be as soon as they do that, someone's going to find another cool way to score, and that's how sports work. That's why sports are better now than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
Justin, you want to ask that other question in chat?
Oh yeah, I didn't even see it. Oh sweet. They want you to talk a little bit about goalies playing the puck in roller.
I mean, just anything specific or just in general?
They were pretty vague.
Yeah.
Maybe like, do you think it's happening enough? Do you think it needs to happen more? When's a good time? When's a bad time? Have you had any like memories of like maybe you dangled a guy behind the net just for the fun of it?
Well, puck handling in general, like for a goalie in hockey, ice or roller. I mean, your number one goal is to make sure after you touch the puck, like your team still has the puck. The next goal is you're trying to beat F1. So if you can find a way as a goalie to make their forechecker or their first player in be behind the puck after you've got rid of it. So if you can bring them into you and beat it off your winger, your defenseman, and now they're going with four guys and one of the opposing players is you've beat F1, I think, then you've done everything you can do. It doesn't happen as much overseas just because the rinks are smaller. There's just less opportunities for it. I don't know. It's really fun to play the puck, and I know why guys like to do. Like, I really enjoy playing the puck. I do it all the time. In our last game, actually, we were playing. I had 3 turnovers in the game, like just horrible. Like I had a shutout, but every time I touched the puck, it was a turnover. So it's just like things like if you can do it, great. I think it's overrated, especially for like junior age players. Like coaches say, I want a goalie that can help out my D by playing the puck. Like it doesn't happen often enough to be like a huge deal. And I think, you don't need to be able to fire a 50-foot sauce pass on someone's tape. Like, can you make a 15-foot pass to your winger that's exiting, or can you be patient enough with the puck to draw a guy in and then just make that 10-foot pass to your D in the corner? So you don't have to be a good puck handler. I think you have to be adept. Like, I think you have to have the skills to be able to make that pass. But in general, I love handling the puck, and I like making cool plays and stuff like that, but I understand that I'm going to screw up and stuff like that. So I think it's a little bit overrated, but it's really fun.
Maybe most important on like if your team's got a power play, be able to get out there and keep the puck moving, or at least get it back to your guys just in case it's a fast break, something like that.
Yeah, that's something too. Like the last couple of years, I've actually started to realize is, you watch an NHL game, and I would say if NHL guys are doing it, it's probably the best way to do it. Like when the puck gets cleared down in an NHL game, like the goalies usually stop it behind the net and leave it, like regardless of what's going on. It's very, very rare that there's a successful play up to the blue line. Like most of the time, all that really does is rush your team, I feel like. And if your D man's coming back for it anyway, like now they just have to wait for him to come all the way back. And if you catch guys in a change and stuff, yeah, that's fun. But it just kind of, it's a skill that's probably a little bit overrated. But I think one thing about puck handling that everyone, like one mindset thing about it, is the worst thing you can do after you've messed up playing the puck and your D-man and your coach are telling you stay in the fucking net and whatever. Worst thing to do is the next time you have an opportunity to play the puck is not play it. Like you have to go out and you still have to play the next puck if you believe that's the right play. So it's puck handling is fun.
Now, is there anything that like you do to like? I mean, do you practice like stick handling on the puck, or like, what is something that if someone wants to get better at stick handling on the puck, what could they do?
When your team is doing before practice, when you're all just skating in circles and shooting pucks at the empty net or whatever, like go to center with a pile of pucks and pass to all your teammates as they skate by, or try and hit the pucks off of their stick as they're stick handling.
That's my favorite game in warm-ups. I love doing that to guys. It's so funny. They're about to shoot, the guy like get teed up, and then you just hit it out from it's fun as heck. Yeah.
And then and when they're doing that, like you do the same thing, skate around the rink with it. And it's all about just like comfort. I mean, there's a skill element to it clearly, but you just have to get comfortable. The best way to get better at anything is just to do it correctly over and over again. So, those are really easy ways that you're probably going to have time to do. For me, every one of my goalie sessions, before I even stretch or do anything, I usually will puck handle and mess around for 5-6 minutes just to get like my heart rate up, my muscles warm and stuff. And then, if I don't get to do a puck handling drill, or if I don't get another touch for the rest of the skate, then, I've worked on it. And so it's just do it. Just do it more.
I love it.
We got another question. So people are wanting to know, this kind of became a Q&A, which is fine. But how did the transition to CPLV happen? Was it just the off season you were free agent, or did you get traded, or? Yeah,
when pretty much everyone over there signs just like 1-year contracts. That's pretty much the norm. I guess some of the older guys maybe sign 2-year deals or a little bit longer if they're coaching a youth team or if their family's over there or whatever. But for the most part, I think 95% of everyone who plays somewhere is there on a 1-year contract. So I played 2 years in Madrid, and I loved my time there, and we did okay. But I knew for sure after the last season, I think it was time for a change, just because I think my efforts and my talents could just be used a little better elsewhere. And I was ready for a change of scenery and maybe a change of system and stuff like that. And luckily I had 2 pretty good seasons and built up a nice resume and some good film. And I think I have a halfway decent reputation over there. So I was lucky to have a lot of options, but definitely I think probably the number one option of everywhere in Europe, France, Italy, or Spain, otherwise, was CPLV. And was lucky that they also were interested, and didn't take long to figure out a deal and all that, because the city's a good hockey city. The facility is beautiful. The team is obviously very good, and always has been very good. Always a really strong squad, and just is like, it's a very attractive place to play. And I was really fortunate that they were interested in me. And once I knew that, I pretty much abandoned all my other plan Bs and wanted to make something happen with them. So, but I'm really happy it worked out, and couldn't be happier here now. So
that's awesome. Justin, up to you. We can go wheels and reels, or we can go Q&A, or you have you're muted, Justin.
Yeah, I was trying to be polite when I was typing. Sorry about that, boys. We can do the wheels and reels. I was trying to get it over to Jimmy so he could see it. But I'll play this really quick. We recently teamed up with Wheels and Reels. They got a YouTube channel and an Instagram page. I'm gonna play this highlight. In the spirit of having a Tendy on the show today, he gave me another Tendy. It's Charlie Robinson. I don't know if you know him.
Yep.
Charles Schwab on Instagram. I'm gonna play this real quick.
Long time ago, I caught the Holy Ghost. They be like holy smokes. I tend to go for broke because the crowd be comatose. Sleep at the other shows. All we brought was rugged flows. Stimulate your mind and shine while she touch her toes. It's all a contradiction. The flow is all depiction of what we really are, and not so much all of the fiction. Friction with the mission in the heart that's sparked up. Learn from tradition, get your intuition smart stuff. Look out for each other. If we don't, then who else will? King of the mountain, but it's more who got the best hill.
I'm playing against Charlie. We played a ton in university against him when he was at Lindenwood, and we've had some pretty good games, Skittles with him in the net since he started pro. And super exciting goalie. I think he's like one of everyone's favorite goalies to watch. I think he, positionally, I think he's very sound. Always just in the middle of the net, like always on angle. And then, however you feel about the style of, or the save selection, you can't deny that he's exciting. He wins a lot of hockey games for that Skittles team.
So I do have one more question, because especially for, we have a lot of beginners in our league for playing goalie, and maybe not beginners, but they've been playing a while, and their biggest thing is angles.
Yeah.
So like for me, the way I understand angles is I kind of set myself up in like 5 different sections, right? Goal line to dot, dot to middle, then there's middle, set middle, then there's middle to dot, and dot to goal line. I mean, I'm just interested on kind of like how you set yourself for like putting yourself in the right angles.
Well, say first thing, angles isn't something like you can really get on the rink with a coach and have him teach you. Like angles is almost purely a feel thing. Obviously there's things you can do to work on it with a coach or whatever, but it really is, it's a feel thing. And that's why, you know, every single game at the highest level, NHL down to 5U, like you're going to see several instances where the goalie is off angle. Fine. That's just what that's your goal as a player, is to get the goalie out of position. So you can, the way I think of angles is wherever the puck is on the rink, you can draw a line from both posts to that puck to make a triangle. And then wherever, it's difficult to explain.
I think I get what you're saying. And then you just move up into the triangle.
If the puck is in the direct center of the rink, then your triangle is going to be a perfect triangle. And then the bottom part of that triangle is going to be 6 feet or whatever the width of the net is. So your goal is to be, the center of your body is in the center of that bottom portion of the triangle. So obviously that bottom portion is a lot smaller when the angle is a lot smaller, like when the puck's low or something like that. But you're still just trying to be in the center of that triangle. So that's really all angles is. If you can be in the center of that triangle wherever it is, then you're on angle. And then to a lesser extent, what we call box control in goaltending is 4 lines from each corner to the puck, and then you're just trying to fill that box wherever the puck is. You're trying to be a box, fill the box in between the puck and the net. So
okay,
difficult to explain in words.
Well, luckily you do have some training videos that you put out there on your Instagram, and if anyone wants to go look at what Jimmy Teed does to practice, you can always visit him on Instagram. It's jimmy.teed34 on Instagram.
And it's a link actually in the description as well.
Because I know as much as I don't play goalie anymore, I do have a tendency to go back because I love looking at goalie drills. I like watching goalies play. I mean, I grew up in the era of Brodeur playing, so I self-taught myself how to play goalie because my older brother needed a goalie. And then next thing you know, I'm being at like the age of 25, I'm playing in over 30 men's leagues because shortage of goalies. And I'm like, okay, so, you know, I'm playing more often and I'm kind of still trying to figure it out. And I'm just unorthodox, but understand majority of the game. But it also, as a player, has helped me learn how to beat goalies and their weaknesses. And so, you know, I recommend anyone to play goalie just to kind of try it out. Because you will see like how at first it is going to be difficult, but you can also see like, wow, it is really difficult for a goalie. You know, goalie really has to focus on when they're going side to side of keeping their paddle on the ground, because if not, it's an easy 5-hole goal, right? So, you know, I don't know. I just found it interesting that I can now figure out, I can analyze a goalie, figure out how they work, and do my best to try and expose their weaknesses.
Yeah, I agree. That's like, I mean, Dan's kind of being humble. He's actually pretty dang good at goal. I'll play goalie sometimes too, but I'm not there. I have zero hip flexibility and hip mobility really when it comes down to it. But I really love being able to look at the game from that angle. And I think that, like Dan was saying, I think almost any player would gain a lot from seeing what a goalie sees, especially if you're a shooter. If you're a shooter, knowing how hard it is to move side to side, it makes you think, like, if I can figure out how to do that every time, I'm going to score way more often.
Yeah.
Did you ever play as a skater?
I mean, when you're growing up, you kind of play, I think I played both, or only skater until you ban them, I guess. So whatever, 10, 11, you just everyone plays player until you're, I don't know, 6 or 7, and then from there you switch the other goalie in your team when one guy is player. And then now I love to, like, whenever I'm coaching and the opportunity to player stuff on, like, I love that. Or if there's a scrimmage going on, I'm always trying to play player, because
cool.
It's like obviously it's difficult, but it's I feel like I can do less and still hang out. Whereas if at goalie and player, like, I'm probably ruining the scrimmage for everyone else.
Sure.
I do like going in the corner, playing the puck, and pulling a toe drag. That's a lot of fun.
That's the funniest thing.
Guys don't expect it. It's great. I mean, let's hit it with some rapid fire.
All right, you ready, Jim?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What do you do when you're not playing hockey? Besides watch film and stretch.
A lot of eating, a lot of napping, and some video games. That's about it.
All right, what video games?
NHL and one zombies game that I don't know. It's a weird one that a couple of my cousins got me into, but I love it. That's probably how I spend most of my time.
Very cool, man. Okay, second question. What is your favorite Doja Cat song?
Remember a lot of songs. I just like the shirt.
I know. I just wanted to point that out.
Heard it, I would probably know it. I don't know the name.
The ooh, she the devil, that one.
No, not that one.
Okay, whatever. All right. All right.
That's Paint the Town Red.
Yeah, thank you. What is your favorite rink you've ever played at?
Ooh, that's tough.
Or like maybe top 2 contenders.
Probably the COVID bubble one when we played in the Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne. I think it's an ECHL barn now, but it was an AHL barn at one point, and it was completely empty because it was the COVID year. But it was a huge stadium, and the facilities were unreal. So that's probably the best. If I had to, probably when everything was normal, probably our rink in Vidalit. It's always packed and it's loud, and the people care about the games, and biased obviously, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here, is because of how great the facility is and how loud it gets and just how fun it is to play there.
Heck yeah. Oh, what's your favorite tournament series to play in?
I think Palma Pro at State Wars is probably the most competitive top to bottom. Like, you're getting 12 teams there that can beat you, every single game. But I think all the other tournaments are getting there. I've had the most, other than winning Nards the last 2 years, I think individually I've had pretty good success at tours, and that's always the first one of the year. I like that rink when it's on time and not wet. I get to see a lot more of my friends from university and down south at tours, so it's tough to pick. I guess probably State Wars. I think it's probably the best run and the most competitive, but they're all fun.
I got one. So talk about State Wars, right? And they move around a lot. What is your favorite State Wars venue?
I really liked the one in St. Louis that we're going back to this year. I haven't been to the tournament that many times. I've only been 3 or 4. But that Fort Wayne one was really cool. The Iceplex is all right, but not my favorite. I would say the St. Louis one's probably the best that I've been to, so I'm excited to go back there this year.
Awesome. Who is your hockey idol growing up?
I'm a Sabres fan since I was like 3 or 4 years old, which is depressing, but always liked Ryan Miller. I grew to love Carey Price. I didn't like him when he came in. I thought he was, I don't know. You just think you're easily influenced by the media when you're like 10 and everyone tells you suck. I thought he sucked, but then you play goalie and you learn that he's best. Like Haas, obviously, because I was a Sabres fan. And my dad played some junior hockey, and whether or not he was who influenced me to play goalie, I think I always thought, especially as I got older and into that age, I always, thought it was awesome that he played goalie. So probably him too.
Awesome. And I was going to ask who got you into hockey, but I guess it was your dad.
Yeah, definitely my dad. My grandma was hockey crazy, so she could do to make me like hockey or play hockey. She was always doing that. I would like to say my mom, because she was the most supportive, but I don't think she cared for hockey. She always sure, but probably my grandma and my dad.
Very cool. This is one I really like to ask. What personality trait do you think is really important for a hockey player, or specifically a goalie?
Maybe cliche, but just being calm, right? Like, I think if you can not empty your brain or whatever, but I think guys get so pumped up to play and it just results in them being tense and nervous or whatever. And I always say, like, I don't treat a hockey game any different than I treat like brushing my teeth or taking a shower. Like, it's something I do every single day and I know how to do it. So like, I just go out and do it. Like, it's, doesn't, I don't think it does you any good to be all pumped up. I mean, I feel like it just makes you nervous or whatever. And I'm not saying you can't get nervous, you can't get excited, but I think if you can refrain from having peaks and valleys and just kind of keep your heart rate and your brain pretty level for the most part and just be calm, I think that's probably the best. I don't know if that counts as a personality trait, but just
I think the
why
ability
not?
to
just being chill. I wouldn't even consider myself like a chill guy. I think I'm probably like pretty excitable and annoying when I'm around the rink. Like, I just love it so much. But if you can kind of, just chill out when you're on the rink, I think that's the best trait you could have.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw on Roller Dad News, you said I treat it like putting on my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I was hoping that you'd go there. Do you have any hockey memories from on or off the rink that really stand out?
That really stand out. Narch is the biggest one. I mean, I know that's really recent, but that's probably the biggest like hockey thing for me ever. That's a major pro event and something I literally, since I played my first game, that I've thought would be the coolest thing to do. So other than that, I would say, like, when I was playing with that club team in Edmonton, every time you won, you were playing against like guys your age that you from your high school or other high schools, and you always just had the bragging rights, and you felt like every one of those wins in your Wednesday night rec league was the Stanley Cup. So
Heck.
Going into the dressing room after those games and just, I don't know, talking like idiots about how sick the toe drag was and the windmill, those probably stand out as the best times for me.
Awesome. Do you have preferred brands of skates, sticks, pads, anything?
Yeah, pretty much for everything right now. I'll go from the bottom up. I'm using Konnix wheels right now. I love them. I think they're the best. I love how Boyo and Phil at Konnix, they take care of their guys. Good communication, and they just always make sure I'm taken care of. And then the product is the best I've ever used. I'm using the Tour skates right now. I think they're super comfy. I'm really enjoying them. I've been in they're True now, but CCM, Reebok, True, that Lefebvre brand. I've been wearing those pads pretty much since I was 8, I think. So haven't really heard from that. Right now I'm using Bauer gloves and sticks and helmet. So can't say enough good things about those. But I got some epic sticks on the way that I'm really excited to use. Had a couple in my hands that they feel real good. So I'm excited to get on the rink with those.
Awesome. All right. Quick 3 tips for young goalies.
Well, I'll say something you can't value enough is your positioning, skating, and tracking. If you can do all of those things pretty good, if you're terrible at everything else, you'll probably still stop enough pucks to have some success. Another thing would just be just relax, like just have fun. And then like nobody cares who the best 11-year-old hockey player in the world is. Your pro coach doesn't care. I don't care. Like nobody cares. So parents and kids alike, stop. It's not the NHL. Whether it's roller or whatever, it should be a good time. It's good to take it serious and whatever. But yeah, it's.
I think it's funny because that you mentioned that no one cares if you're 11 years old. I think Spit and Chicklets just said something about like, listen, your 11, 12-year-old's not going to the NHL right now. They haven't been introduced to girls or booze.
Yeah. Like you be the best 15-year-old player, and I don't know, maybe like you go to high school and you get a girlfriend, or maybe you try basketball and you like that more. Like, so just enjoy playing every shift or game or whatever, and it should be about fun. No one, like I said, I didn't play my first pro game until I was 22. I didn't play my first European pro game until I was 23 or something like that. So yeah, there's a lot of time for you to decide if that's what you want to do or if you want to be the best. So
I love it, man. All right. One more quick question. Are you having fun?
Having a good time, yeah.
All right. He's on the right vibe. A lot of people get caught off guard with that, but you are. You said you don't know if you're a chill guy. I think you are a chill guy, man. I
can. That's the thing. I can be chill for probably an hour and a half like this or something. But when it's 3 or 5 hours of watching hockey and I'm still pointing at the screen like, look at that. I think people get sick of it pretty quick. Or, when I want to point out and talk about everything that's happening. That's on the rink and people just want to watch the game. I think maybe that's where.
Well, that's the thing is, right, you don't have hockey going on around you, so you're focused right now.
Yeah, I know it's too much. That's probably, if you're asking about my best personality trait, my worst one is probably that I don't have any other personality trait.
Nice.
That's funny, man. Should we let Jimmy pick some numbers?
Oh yeah, I forgot we got to do that. So Jimmy, we're picking because we're sponsored by Champion Hockey. We did a raffle. Well, we did a prize giveaway, and we're giving away a set of Champion wheels. And so, where's my list at? We had. So, I'm going to give you between the numbers of 1 and 19. Okay. Whatever number you haven't seen this list. You don't know any. You may know people in this, but you don't know who's on here, right? So choose a number between 1 and 19.
Go with 16, Tyler Kraft.
All right. Number 16 is _Matt_Shepard wins Champion Wheels.
Hey, congratulations, the Matt Shepard.
That's Shepard.
Awesome.
Matt Shepard's coming away with free Champion Wheels. We'll be in contact with you, and we'll get them shipped to you as soon as possible.
Nice. And those are those nice gold series, good for indoor or outdoor, super durable. So you'll be happy with those, Matt.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jimmy, I want to say, thank you for coming on today. We had a blast talking with you. It was nice to pick your brain, kind of see, how you see hockey and, what you do. So we appreciate that.
Wow, thank you guys for having me on, and it was a good chat. I think it's a lot of good discourse there. It wasn't just I don't know. Usually it's what's your favorite? How do you tape your stick? And what's your super? It was good that we got a little deeper, and
I'm gonna cross that one off here.
Pods, and it's always some pretty good chatter. So thank you again. I'm excited to be on anytime too.
Yeah. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, you like the video, you leave a comment, you share our channel, you follow us on No Offsides on Instagram and Champion Wheels. If you're forechecking, don't let up, because there's no offsides in roller hockey.
Hey.
Thanks for watching, Jimmy. Thanks for visiting us. We appreciate you very much.
Guys.
See you, Jimmy.
See you.
No offside.
Every episode of No Offsides podcast is brought to you by Champion Hockey. Be a champion. This week's episode is brought to you by the Asheville Hockey League. The mission of the Asheville Hockey League is to provide community space for inline hockey in Western North Carolina, empowering youth and adults of all backgrounds through competition, mentorship, skills development, camaraderie, and the love of the sport. This episode is also brought to you by US Roller Cup. Join a revolution in roller. The US Roller Cup is a premier roller hockey tournament series in the United States. Their passion for the sport drives them to create an unparalleled experience for players, fans, and coaches alike. With a focus on promoting roller hockey at all levels, from youth to professional, we are committed to growing the game and fostering a sense of community within the roller hockey world. USRC seeks to spread the love for roller hockey across the nation, connecting players and fans from every corner of the United States. Go to usrollercup.com to register for this year's Winter Nationals, held at SGAA in Snellville, Georgia. The tournament is scheduled from February 16th to the 18th, promising an exciting weekend of competition. With pro prizes up to $9,000 and divisions from 10U all the way up to men's and women's pro. Get your spot today. US Roller Cup. Roller hockey is more than just a sport. It's a way of life.